Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. In this video, we're gonna talk about how 5 of history's worst pandemic finally ended. Here is how 5 of the world's worst pandemics finally ended. Number 1. Plagues of Justinian. 3 of the deadliest pandemics recorded in history were caused by a single bacterium, Yersinia pestis, a fatal infection otherwise known as plague. The plague of Justinian arrived in Constantinople in 541 AD. It was carried over from Egypt. The plague spread like wildfire across Europe, Asia, North America, and Arabia, killing an estimated 30 to 50 million people. People had no real understanding of how to fight it other than trying to avoid sick people. According to historical studies, the majority of people in the pandemic somehow survive, and those who survive have immunity. That's how plagues of Justinian ended. Number 2. Black Death. The plague never really went away, and when it returns 800 years later, it killed with reckless abandon. The Black Death, which hit Europe in 1347, approximately 200 million deaths in just 4 years. As for how to stop the disease, people still had no scientific understanding of Black Death. But they knew that it had something to do with proximity. That's why officials kept the newcomers to the city in an isolated place. The duration of isolation was 30 days in first, and later it extended to 40 days. This is the origin of word quarantine and the start of its practice in the world. Number 3. Great Plague of London. London never really caught a break after the Black Death. The plague happened in every 10 years from 1348 to 1665. Total 40 outbreaks in just 300 years. And with each new plague epidemic, 20% of the men, women, and children living in the British capital were killed. By the 16th century, England imposed the first law to separate and isolate the sick people, so that if you had infected family members, you had to carry a white pole when you went out in public. Cats and dogs were believed to carry the disease. So there was a wholesale massacre of hundreds of thousands of animals. The Great Plague of 1665 was the last and one of the worst of the century's outbreaks, killing 1 million Londoners in just 7 months. All public entertainment was banned and victims were forcefully shut into their homes to prevent the spread of the disease. As cruel as it was to shut up the sick in their homes and bury the dead in the mass graves, it may have been the only way to bring the last great plague outbreak to an end. Number 4. Smallpox. Smallpox was endemic to Europe, Asia, and Arabia for centuries. The smallpox killed 3 out of 10 it infected and left rest with scars. The virus arrived in 15th century with the first European explorers. The people of modern-day Mexico and United States had zero immunity to smallpox, and the virus cut them down by tens of millions. Centuries later, smallpox became the first virus epidemic to be ended by a vaccine. In 1918, the World Health Organization announced that smallpox had been completely eradicated from the face of the earth. Number 5. Cholera. In early to mid-19th century, cholera tore through England, killing tens of thousands. The scientific theory states that disease was spread by a foul air known as miasma. A British doctor named John Snow was investigating about the mysterious disease, which killed its victims within the day of first symptoms. He found out that it was infected in all drinking wells, and Snow convinced local officials to stop drinking from infected wells. Eventually led to global effort to improve urban sanitation and protect drinking water from contamination. While cholera has largely eradicated in developed countries, it's still a problem in third world countries lacking sewage treatment and access to clean drinking water. Do you know any more pandemic which affected other than these? Let us know in comment section.